Damn, boy. It's like they want me to crash out, yo. That said, I'm still keeping my head up, still making content and building the business empire. It was looking much better when I had the recent job. I was stacking up and making the plans to be able to use the liquidity to invest in growth. Unfortunately, I got fired on my day off and my birthday. But yo, it's all about resiliency. You dig? But yo, you saw my corporate umbrella in the previous picture. In this picture, check me out. I got my abundant supply clothing, aka ASC Suppliers brand. That's where the fashion exists. That's where I take the art and create verticals, and to also lay down the reflexive satire, IRL. I figured this was one of them moves that'd get them folks angry. Cause yo, they trying to play the digital low-key game and gaslight without me even knowing it. But I'm on some, let's put it all out there. And yo, this is another method to substantiate the if not for formula that I developed to clearly show how the entities that are doing this are colluding to really impact my bottom line. On God, everything I touch turns to gold. And look, I got proof of my success, pre-organized harassment. And then here I am taking the very same mechanisms of organized harassment to make money off of them, to bring value. You heard? But again, unfortunately for capitalism, there's an element that really wants to gaslight you and make you think that, yo, you ain't doing nothing and all your sucks. So my mindset has always been cool. I'll just outwork them then. We on that Mamba mentality kind of vibe. So mix talent with hard work, and you'll be so far ahead that it'll be undeniable. But I didn't anticipate that they'd be able to control social proof. And also, again, what talks? Money, right? So your ability to access resources, they got control of that too, yo. But remember what I said, if you're going through this, the key to the game is to hold up a mirror that'll point out their insecurities. And just to be clear, I just mean society at large. So again, there's a lot of critique you can really get to from an academic standpoint, especially when you're talking about the plight of black men in America. So that's easy, you dig? So the body of work that's coming from the approach to all of this is beautiful, no matter how you look at it. Whether it's today, tomorrow, and yo, maybe they just haven't caught up. That's cool. But once you do, you can't deny it. You feel me? Unless, again, they completely suppress it, which could be possible. But it's really important for you to create and vent, especially if you have that artist-like spirit. So that's where the reflective satire approach comes in. But of course, as with sore losers, what do? They change up the rules and play dirty behind the scenes to try to make it seem like they getting a victory. And what's the victory? More success for them and less for you. Rather, nothing for you and everything for them. So yeah, yo, they got ways to hate on the fact that a ninja is taking his artwork, putting it on clothes, and putting it out there for the public to consume. Not offending anybody directly, but just challenging ideas. Turning the torture that they're using against me and against other cats into art. How can you hate on that, yo? But doing that straight up exposes them. And then it becomes a question of who's doing it and how do we start to go after them for war crimes. I'm going to get to that in a second, but let me say first and foremost, Alice in Wonderland. Take some time to let that simmer. The words on the screen say, meaningless. The interrogatee may start laughing or fail to take the situation seriously. But as the process continues, day after day, if necessary, the subject begins to make sense of the situation, which becomes mentally intolerable. Now he is likely to make significant admissions or even to pour out his story just to stop the flow of babble which assails him. This technique may be especially effective with the orderly, obstinate type. That's another way to explain this psyop that's taking place in South Florida, Miami, Florida, really since post-pandemic, but maybe even longer. There's an element that's trying to use this very idea as if enhanced interrogation techniques are allowed to be used against American citizens. Now get this. CIA copied L. Ron Hubbard's brainwashing technique and uses it in interrogation. And it is theorized it is being used on all of us in our social media feeds. I'm gonna just drop the mic for a second, yo. Maybe they're God, you feel me? Maybe I had it wrong all along. That portion of the video goes to whoever needed to hear it. Yo, they know who they are. But no, when it comes to ASC, abundant supply, ASC suppliers, all of the above, yo, man, they deleted 3 of my most pertinent pieces of art that I'm placing on clothing that explains my experience under organized harassment. You see them? They engineer criminality. I'll show you that design in a second. But sonic conditioning and controlled schizophrenia were all deleted from my TikTok store unbeknownst to me. So, you know, when you look at these situations, you want to look at it from a legal lens. And playing devil's advocate, you know, you want to say, well, maybe there's a liability question there that the company is afraid of. Maybe not TikTok per se, but maybe the middleman company that I use that I design the products on. So here are the designs. Number 1, they engineer criminality. And you see the backdrop, the picture that's there, not pointing out anyone specifically. But again, they want to play inference with me or anyone like me. We're going to play the same inference game as to what that entails, setting something like that up. Again, security theater staging reality. That was the purpose of that particular design, to point that out under the Pre-Crime Institute umbrella. And Pre-Crime Institute is the top enterprise. There's no mention of locations. There's no mention of people. There's nothing of the sort here to cause a company to be concerned about liability. Second design, it's called sonic conditioning. You see it, take some time to appreciate it. I know my stuff is dope. And check it out. Imagine people rocking these shirts while the very forms of ambient surveillance being pointed out is happening in the background. That is literally the best form of reflexive satire. Then you have, last but not least, controlled schizophrenia. This was a hip-hop legal investigation. So we own the IP, and all these pieces are copywritten, by the way. And this one is the most caustic, incendiary, because again, they start running these campaigns, I suspect, once you peep game and you recognize what's taking place. You feel me? So they definitely don't want this to come out. But I've been speaking on controlled schizophrenia for a couple years now, and radio silence. But my rationale is playing a long game. I'm thinking, yo, if I could put this out there, it's gonna always live somewhere on the internet. Somebody might stumble upon it 50 years from now and then get to the bottom of it. So it's cool with fair market conditions at work, but they're playing in an attempt to subvert that. Now check this out. The dates for each item as it relates to when they were deleted. We got July 26, 2025, March 6, 2025, and February 24th, 2025. Now, if you know and understand the law, you know they're gonna try to use the privacy policy and the user agreement to say, hey, that gives us protection. But that's not the case, because the dates don't align, especially in this instance right here, and their policy update can't be applied retroactively. Thus, there's a legal argument here as it relates to damages based off of these items and what they could have sold for. But this is the problem I keep running into as I've been trying to succeed with my ventures on the internet for the past couple of years. Do I take the bait and start engaging in some long-term litigation that, again, may not even amount to much? Or do I play the long game and just put it away for future damages? I've been doing the latter. But yo, this has been an example right here. Anyway, that's what it is, man. Hey, don't let them trick you with that Hollywood now.
Stifle, GG Coaching Done Dway. 情话我写白，心下也话我发发呆，下面谈到年代，我的书又发大呆。画面剩下都想要，画面剩下都想要。